Hello everyone, in this video we're going to draw a kitten. Start by drawing a circle as a guide for the head. To draw the circle, first make two small marks to indicate the circle's length, and then on the sides make two more small marks to indicate the circle's width. Then connect the marks using curved lines to finish the shape of the circle. Sketch lightly at first so that it's easy to erase if you make a mistake. Also, pause the video to draw at your own pace. The circle doesn't have to be perfect, but if you're having trouble drawing it, just trace the outer edge of a cup, a lid, or anything else with a circular edge. Inside the head, draw a horizontal line. Curve the line slightly so that it makes the circle more spherical. This is a construction guide that will help you place the facial features later on. Draw a curved vertical line on the top right side for another construction guide. On the bottom half of the head, draw a small circle as a guide for the muzzle. This circle should be small in relation to the head. The tops and bottoms of the circle should touch the initial guides. On top of the head, draw two triangular shapes as guides for the ears. Use the lines inside the head as guides to help you place the ears. Pay attention to the sizes of the ears in relation to the head. Under the head, draw a circular shape as a guide for the top section of the body. Use the small marks method to draw this circular shape. First, make a few small marks to indicate the sides of the circular shape, and then connect the marks using curved lines to finish the shape. This shape should be similar in size to the head. Don't overlap the head as you draw this shape. On the bottom left side, draw two vertical lines as guides for the front leg. Pay attention to how long the lines are in relation to the body. Tilt the lines to the right slightly. At the bottom, draw a shape that's similar to an oval as a guide for the foot. Make this shape wide. Draw a similar shape on the right side as guides for the other front leg. Draw two slightly tilted vertical lines. At the bottom, draw an oval-like shape for the foot. Don't make the shapes of the legs too thin. Draw a curved line on the left side as a guide for the rest of the body. Curve the line to the left slightly and then back to the right. At the bottom, draw an oval-like shape for the hind foot. And that's it for the guidelines. Now let's start on the final drawing. Inside the head, lightly sketch two small circles for the eyes. Place the eyes on top of the horizontal construction guide and on either side of the vertical guide. Pay attention to the sizes of the eyes in relation to the head. When you get the sizes and positions of the eyes right, darken the shapes. Use thick, dark lines for the shapes of the eyes. As you darken the eyes, make the sides of the shapes pointier for the corners of the eyes. The outer corners of the eyes should point up toward the ears. The inner corners of the eyes should point down toward the muzzle. Make the tops of the eyes slightly flatter than the initial circles. The eye on the right should be slightly thinner because the head is tilted. Inside each eye, off to the side, draw tiny circles for highlights. In the middle of each eye, draw an oval-like shape for the pupils. Shade in the pupils. Don't overlap the tiny highlight circles as you shade the pupils. Inside the muzzle, lightly sketch a small triangle for the nose. Place the nose slightly to the right of the center of the circle. When you get the size and position of the nose right, darken the shape. Use a wavy line to darken the top edge of the nose. The top corners of the nose should point up toward the eyes. On the sides of the nose, draw curved lines for the nostrils. Don't make the nostrils too big. The bottom of the nose should be pointy. Draw a small vertical line on the bottom of the nose. Under the nose, draw a short line that curves to the left for the mouth. Add another short line that curves to the right to finish the mouth. The shape of the mouth should be similar to an upside-down letter V. Draw a couple of short vertical lines on the sides of the guide for the sides of the muzzle. Sketch lightly at first and only darken the lines when you get the shape right. Draw a curved line under the mouth for the chin. Draw the line along the path of the initial guide. Use the shape on the top left side of the head as a guide to draw the ear. Darken the shape, but make the tip rounder. Extend the bottom of the shape so that it's inside the head. Draw a few short curved lines at the bottom for structure. Make the sides of the shape more curved. Draw a series of short strokes along the bottom of the shape for the furry base of the ear. Add a few short strokes within the shape for the fur that's inside the ear. Use the shape on the right as a guide to draw the other ear the same way. Darken the shape, but make the sides rounder. Draw a few short strokes within the shape for the fur inside the ear. Add short strokes at the bottom too for the furry base of the ear. Use the first circle as a guide to draw the head. Darken the outer edges of the guide to create the shape of the head. Use a series of short strokes as you darken the shape for a furry texture. Make the right side of the head slightly wider than the initial circle. Don't make the strokes too long. Leave a few gaps at the bottom of the head. Tilt the orientations of the strokes as you darken the sides of the head. The bottom of the head should be slightly higher than the initial circle. Use the shapes that are under the middle section of the body as guides to draw the front leg. Darken the top part of the guide using short strokes to create the furry leg. Darken the outer edges of the bottom shape to create the foot. Inside the shape, draw a few short vertical lines to separate the toes. Use the shapes on the right side as a guide to draw the other front leg the same way. Darken the top section of the guide using short strokes to create a furry texture. Darken the outer edges of the shape at the bottom for the foot. Inside the shape, draw a few short vertical lines to separate the toes. Use the remaining shapes and lines as guides to draw the rest of the body. Simply darken the outer edges of the guides to create the shape of the body. Use a series of short strokes as you darken the shape for a furry texture. On top of the oval-like shape, draw a few short strokes for the underside of the body. On the bottom left side, draw a curved shape for the tail. Sketch lightly at first and only darken the lines when you get the shape right. It's okay to overlap the initial guides as you draw the tail. The right side of the tail should be pointy. Use a series of short strokes as you darken the shape of the tail. Darken the oval-like shape on the bottom left side to create the hind foot. Draw a couple of short lines within the shape for the visible toes. Now erase the initial guidelines. The next few steps are sped up so that the video isn't too long. Don't worry about erasing all of the guidelines. It's okay if you leave some behind. Redraw any of the final lines that you may have accidentally erased. Now shade your drawing. Shade lightly at first and gradually build up to darker values. For light values, push down very lightly on your pencil, then push down harder for darker values. Add a medium value inside the eyes. Don't overlap the tiny highlight circle as you shade the eyes. Use a light value at the bottom of the eyes for a rounder look. Darken the outer edges of the eyes. Use a dark value for the ears openings and a lighter value for the fur inside. Leave the area around the eyes and the mouth blank for white fur. Alternate between a light and dark value to create a tabby pattern on the fur. Use a series of short strokes as you shade to create a furry texture. For an easier drawing, you can leave the kitten blank for white fur but add a few shadows to give the figure more dimension. As you shade, use strokes that go in the direction of the fur. Inside the head, the fur radiates outward from the nose. Use darker strokes to create stripes. Separate the strokes a bit so that the white of the paper comes through and creates a furrier texture. Draw rows of dots on the sides of the muzzle for the base of the whiskers. Tilt the orientations of the strokes as you draw the fur. The strokes on the body mainly have a vertical orientation. Alternate between light and dark strokes on the body to create a striped pattern. Don't shade too smoothly. A rough value will create more texture on the fur. Use the lighter value on the chest for white fur. Shade the tail using a dark value. Use a medium value to shade the feet. Use a darker value throughout the body to create some shadows. Draw a cast shadow at the bottom using a medium value. Cats have a variety of coat patterns, so you can shade your drawing differently if you'd like. If you have a pet kitten or a cat, try to duplicate its coat pattern on your drawing. Shading can be time-consuming, so be patient and take breaks. Keep shading until you're happy with the result. And that's it for the kitten. Don't forget to pause the video to draw at your own pace. Also, please visit howtodrawanimals.com where every step of this tutorial is broken down into an individual image. That's how, and then the number 2, then drawanimals.com. If you'd like to support my channel, please consider buying my books on Amazon. I'll leave a link in the description below. And if you enjoyed the video, please leave a like, a comment, and subscribe for more videos in the future. Thank you for watching, and until next time, keep drawing.